should be ecstatic and so happy that I'm on a billboard in my new city, and I'm not.
Guys, people on the internet sometimes do silly things. This is a law of the universe. However, every now and then somebody comes along and does something so extraordinarily silly that it warrants an analytical discussion, and that's where we are today. You see, a few days ago, somebody DM'd me on Instagram and asked me, what do you call an orange without a peel? Under this, they included a link to a video and nothing else. I don't know if they were setting up a joke. I don't know if they were genuinely asking. Either way, I'm not sure of the outcome because that's a question I can't answer. But I visited this link and I was greeted with a video called "I'm Standing Up for What Is Right." Now, I don't know what little corner of internet drama this guy's gotten himself into that sent me this, but this video had less than 10,000 views when I saw it, and it focuses on this micro celebrity named Allyson Berger, who is apparently not very happy about a recent modeling gig she did and is letting everybody know about it. Now, originally after watching this video, I wasn't gonna make anything on it, but I started to read the comments and it seemed very split down the middle. So I'm kind of interested to see how you guys will perceive this situation. Once again, this is a pretty low stakes situation, but I just figured why not? It's something a little bit different and I'm curious to see what you guys think. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
I should be ecstatic and so happy that I'm on a billboard in my new city, and I'm not. I feel ripped off, I feel cheated, I feel taken advantage of, and no one takes advantage of me.
Alright, so this is the focus of this video. This woman is on a billboard, and she's not happy about it. And in my opinion, as this video progresses and you get the information that it provides, this stance gets increasingly goofier as every second passes.
Hi, I'm Allyson Berger, and if you made it here from the video you may have seen on Instagram or TikTok, thank you. Now let me tell you the rest of the story. But first, Katherine Heigl said recently in an interview for Variety, if you cannot stand up for yourself in this industry, very few people will stand up for you. So you better learn how to, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Hey, I mean, I respect it. You gotta go to bat for yourself because no one else will, but also, maybe know when not to swing.
I'm standing up for myself and also the 15 other models that made the mistake that I did. And I want to make sure this never happens again to anyone else. I've been working in the entertainment industry as an on-camera host, actress, and model for over 10 years. And I have never been caught in a situation like this before, and I hope you never get into something like this either. Earlier this year, I was sent an availability check from my talent agency about this project for the zoo. The usage said all media, but because of the low rate that it was listed with, I just thought this must have been all social media.
Alright, so after I heard this, it was really hard for me to take the rest of the video seriously. You've been working in the industry for over a decade, yet you think that all media on a contract does not mean all media? Like seriously, if you sign something saying that they can use your likeness for all media, I don't know why you'd ever expect them to not think they can use your likeness for all media. I mean, like, what do you mean here? This video was really framed like this woman was wronged or something, but it's really hard to make that argument.
Because I'm thinking for a few $100, they couldn't mean anything more than for social media. So I said I was available, and then I was booked for the shoot. So after I did my own hair and makeup, I arrived at the shoot for my midday call time, so they'd already been shooting for half the day by now. And once I found my wrangler who worked for the ad agency who was doing the shoot, I asked her, what is this for? She immediately told me that this is for a billboard, and they have 6 billboards that they're filling. I was shocked, and I said, no one told me that this was for a billboard.
No, they didn't, but they did tell you that it was for all media. I mean, they could put your face on a rocket, send it to outer space, and blow up the moon, provided that they could prove it was for advertisement. If you sign your name for all media, it's all media. I don't understand the disconnect.
And I asked her, would you want your face for this small amount of money on a billboard? She said no.
Maybe this is a generational thing, but to me, I feel like social media advertisement should pay much more than a billboard. I mean, I'm serious. I don't think I've ever actually taken action from seeing a billboard in my entire life. Plus, the advertisement is limited to where it's located on the planet. I feel like using your image for social media should pay more because it has such a larger reach. I don't know.
And I said, okay, so who do I need to talk to? So I'm now speaking with a man from the ad agency, who proceeds to tell me how he looked at my work prior to the shoot and was shocked that I was willing to take this job meaning that he was getting good talent for cheap.
Okay, look, I'm really not trying to be rude here, but I feel like this is a little patty on the backy here. It's one thing if this was like a commercial, but this is a billboard. This is a still image. I mean, this is probably labeled as generic mom. I don't really know the kind of talent that's needed for this. Because, I mean, unless you're like a recognizable celebrity, I don't think it really matters how long you've been in the business when it comes to you being on a billboard.
And then he tells me a story about how another model they used for a different photo shoot ended up suing them for putting her image on the cover of a magazine without further compensation, and how after the agency paid her off, the ad agency blacklisted her for speaking up, basically trying to scare me so that I wouldn't speak up about this situation.
Alright, so this seems to be kind of a fair point, I guess. I don't really think it's a one-to-one situation. It does seem like the ad agency might be trying to use a little bit of a scare tactic here, but also, I don't think I'd work with somebody who sued me either, so, there's always that. Plus, maybe the other model had a different kind of contract where it didn't say all media. I mean, we don't have all the information, so this might be relevant, might not be, who knows.
This should have been a red flag for me, but you see how well that worked out. So I felt stuck and trapped, and I did the shoot anyway, but I should have walked off the set.
So look, like, I can understand being a little bit intimidated by this and feeling like you maybe have to do this shoot, but also, like, the person did sue them and take legal action against them, not just say, hey, on second thought, not really feeling it. I feel like if you really didn't want your face on a billboard and you really thought this was not fair compensation, and you didn't walk away at this point, you don't really have a leg to stand on.
The next day, I had a phone conversation with the talent agency that booked me for this job. And they told me they were not aware that this shoot was for a billboard. And then they informed me that normally when a client comes to them and wants to book their talent for a billboard, the client usually ends up declining because they don't want to pay the high fees that are associated with having talent on a billboard. Hearing this made me realize that the ad agency was purposefully being vague because they didn't want to pay the proper compensation to use models on a billboard.
This could very well be true, it could not be. To me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I've done some sponsorship work, I've done some media work, so I have a little bit of experience with this, and I just can't imagine that a contract stating that you can use this person's image for whatever would pay a lower rate than a situation where you can only use the image for one specific thing. That just doesn't track for me, I don't know.
When all along they knew that that's exactly what this shoot was going to be used for. So I said to my agent, go fight for us. You got taken advantage of just as much as we did. They didn't fight for me and the 15 other models that were booked for the shoot to be used in billboards throughout Tampa Bay.
Really struggling to see where anybody got taken advantage of. If you sign a contract saying, hey, these pictures you're about to take of me, you can use them in any media you want, and then the company proceeds to use them in any media they want, that doesn't seem like anybody's getting taken advantage of. That seems like a fulfillment of exactly what they said they're going to do in the contract.
So here I am, not just bringing this issue to the public's attention for myself. I am doing this for the 16 models that were used for this shoot. I am doing it for the models across the state of Florida. I am doing it for all models across the country that are aspiring or already working in this industry. Learn from my mistake. A few $100s is not proper compensation to be on a billboard. If a job says the usage is for all media, that should be voided for vagueness and it needs to be specified.
I kinda get the sentiment here, but also, like, really, all media is not that vague because it just means all media. If you can think of it, and it's media, well, it's included. Also, I don't know how you're really fighting for these models or going against this ad agency when we don't know anything about them.
If your face is being used to make a business money, you need to be making money. The proper amount of money. What happened to me and the other 15 models that were used for this shoot is unacceptable and should not be allowed to happen at any level of the entertainment industry. Whether you're a name brand like Katherine Heigl or someone just starting out in the industry, you should be compensated more than just a few $100 to be on a billboard. Don't let what happened to me happen to you. Ask questions, stand up for yourself, and fight for proper compensation for different usages.
Alright, so that's the entire video, and look, I'm not like actively fighting against people trying to get compensated fairly. I think people should be paid for their image, they should be paid to act and do all these things, but do it before you sign a contract. If you sign a contract knowing what you're gonna get paid, knowing what it states the media is, and choose to make an assumption that because of the pay, well, oh, it can't mean that, right? That's on you. Don't sign a contract that you're not happy with. If this was a video self-reflecting saying something like, look, it's really easy to look over things in contracts, it's easy to miss stuff, and you should always get a second opinion on a contract, stuff like that, it'd be a totally different video. But this video is not that. It's basically saying, look, I entered into a contract knowing exactly what it said. I decided to make an assumption, even though the contract stated exactly what I was getting myself into, and now that I've learned my assumption is wrong, I'm upset and I want more money. Allyson, if you see this, no hard feelings, but this is just not a very good look. I don't really believe that you're fighting for all the other models. I think you're just kind of upset. And I'm not even saying that you don't have a right to be upset. It's okay to be upset about this, but use it as a learning opportunity rather than just blaming everybody around you. You signed the contract, you read all media, end of the story. Well guys, what do you think about this heated, hot topic internet drama? I've got to say this is the juiciest story I think I've ever covered. But seriously people, read your contracts, take them seriously. If whoever wrote up that contract took the time to put something specific in the contract, I promise you, it's there for a reason. Take it seriously. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
Subscribe.